County Court of Common Pleas is again in session. The Honorable Christine Croce presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. You may proceed, Mr. LaPrinzi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so Detective Looney, I think when we broke, I think the last thing we talked about was the fact that you had just at this point for the first time indicated to Mr. Ford that you had proof that he was coming into his house right before the 911 call. Is that fair?
That's fair.
And while we're talking about that 911 call, you had an opportunity to listen to that 911 call throughout the process of this case and this trial. Is that fair?
Yes.
And did you recognize the voice on that 911 call?
Yes, I did.
And how do you recognize that voice?
That voice, we actually interviewed Ms. Ford as well and talked with them on several occasions.
Okay, and so did you recognize her to be the person, the 911 caller on the May 15th call that we heard during the trial?
Yes.
And that would have been the first 911 call, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now we'll start where we left off. Your Honor, I believe we've left off at around 30 in a couple seconds. I just moved it back about 10 seconds.
We got a huge problem. We got to clear up.
I don't have a problem because
We got a problem. We got to clear up.
so you just told me that problem right there, but
Yeah, that's huge.
but that didn't exist like that.
That's huge, though, right?
Yeah, it would be huge if it happened like that. It is huge if it happened like that.
Right.
Right.
Right. So why would that be the case? I can tell you definitely and show you definitely that somebody came in the house.
Somebody came to my house on 1370.
So, you know, I got a huge problem. That's a huge problem that you have.
Oh, I went back in. I took the TV over there.
I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about the TV. And you know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the TV.
All right.
I ain't talking about the TV stand. I ain't talking about that.
Only person be in and out of my house to be
You
easy.
said, well, nobody. So I bet you
What I'm saying, if anybody's in and out of our house, if anybody's in and out of my house, no, if anybody's in and out of our house, it's either be me or my wife.
Okay, well, there it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have a right to be in and out of our house.
Of course.
Okay?
That's why I asked you specifically.
Right.
Did you come out right before she called? You told me no.
I don't believe I did. I don't believe I did.
I mean, I can tell you that you did.
Oh, I did. If me personally came out on the side, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't be having the time, but
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna tell you something though. We usually do go in and out when the kids sleep because she got stuff over there.
So I'm talking about right before the call today. I'm gonna be very specific.
I don't have no knowledge of that.
I do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's why I came like I did.
That's kind of backwards.
That's not backwards. That's official business.
See,
That's me being good at what we do.
I wasn't familiar with no first.
That's being good at what we do. Well, this is, I mean, and if you came in right before the fire happened, and we got other information that I'll share with you later also, that's a huge problem.
Okay, but
you agree with me, that's a huge problem.
Okay,
Yeah, that's huge.
okay, but see, okay, another thing. So say hypothetically speaking, if I did come in out by the fire and I didn't have no knowledge of it, then what? I mean, then what? Yes,
Tell me why.
Why would I have knowledge of a fire going on?
If you did, so did you?
No.
What
What I'm saying is, my wife woke me up. What I'm saying is,
I understand that, but before she woke up, before she got woke up, maybe she woke up when you came in.
Oh, no, she woke me up. I was in it.
So let's say hypothetically you did come in right before she called.
I'm gonna tell you
Let's say that you did hypothetically.
If I was out, then I went in and it was fire. I didn't have no knowledge of it.
Detective Looney, at this point in time, at any time during your conversations with Mr. Ford, had you indicated to him that you had witnessed on the video the lights from the fire lighting up the neighborhood?
None at that time.
All right. And when you saw the individual go into 1370, when you watched the video, was that light apparent?
Yes.
Well, you couldn't miss this. I'm gonna tell you, you couldn't miss this because for her to see lights or flashes like she told us, right? She said that, right? You wouldn't miss this. It was going. It was going good too.
I tell you what, it wasn't either me.
The whole side of your house, and the whole front of your house.
My house?
The reflection.
didn't
I
see
need you to
that.
help me. I need you to help
I
me.
didn't see that
And
part.
what I said, look, this is what I'm saying to you. A lot of times we always know, police always get to the facts.
Right.
We always know what happened. We don't know why, man.
Right.
Maybe
I know. But,
one, a 10-month-old.
yeah, but,
1-year-old.
yeah, but
You
detectives,
got a 4-year-old.
yeah, but detectives only.
You got a 4-year-old.
I know.
Your daughter's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, all
Beautiful
kids,
young lady.
listen, all kids is beautiful to me.
All kids.
They got crazy.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't the reason. Maybe that wasn't the case, man. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it wasn't meant to be like that. I'll toss you a bone. I even say maybe it wasn't meant to be like that. Maybe he's just trying to get people to move because they were doing stuff.
Now, I
You said you care about the neighborhood,
yeah,
right?
but I wouldn't do that.
You said you care about the neighborhood, right?
I do,
And I mean, I understand, man. I can appreciate that because
I see so much.
you said the older people have left and moved out,
Yeah.
and the elements has changed.
Yeah.
Something like that would change the elements.
Right, exactly.
Some of we,
But-
I'm not judging. Man.
But the thing is,
What I'm saying to you, man, I need you to help me, man.
I'm trying to,
You
man.
got a 14 and 10-year-old, right?
Yeah, I do.
How would you feel, man, if that was you?
Oh, I would be hurt, man.
Man, you weren't hurt because you would have been one of the victims.
Yeah, I would.
You and your wife, your
Yeah,
daughter.
that's what I'm saying. My heart would be pierced. I would be devastated.
That hurts my heart.
Well, it hurts my heart too.
Hurts my heart.
Yeah.
Hurts my heart. This ain't hypothetical.
No, this is real.
You see the tape here, you see the chart out on there.
Right.
They probably tearing it down. But these lives lost, man.
But once again, Detective Lowe,
seven people.
I did not do that.
7 people.
I know, I did not do
So
that.
you can give me your word,
But
not hypothetical, real.
I didn't do
I
that.
need you to help me.
I didn't do that.
I think you still got that huge problem.
I didn't do
It's not
that.
hypothetical. You said if.
No, I
came here.
No. I didn't say that.
That would
I didn't
show you
I
what
didn't
you hear,
I
right?
didn't say I come on back before.
You said hypothetically, if.
Okay, the thing is, this way.
That's what you said, right?
My wife and I, we're always in and out, sometimes going next door. Because
Okay.
she had things over there.
But you said she was asleep already.
Yeah, she was asleep.
Let's not talk general.
Okay.
Let's be specific about
Oh,
what
okay.
we're talking about.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
I respect you.
But she didn't go over there that night to get nothing.
Right, she didn't go out the house. So you said you might have went out.
Oh, I did go. I took a TV next door.
But this was way earlier. I'm
Right.
talking about right before. And I'm talking about right before it happened. Like right
Well,
immediately.
if you guys see all that, you guys should see me taking a TV in the house.
No. I'm not talking about that. But we probably said that too earlier. I'm talking about right before it happened.
I don't know who that could have been. It wasn't me, man.
Well, you're the only person, your wife wasn't her, she was asleep.
So you said it was me went in there when the thing was blazing? That's what you said. So you said that was
I
me?
need you to help me and tell me.
It wasn't me, man. I didn't do
I
that.
just want to know this. That's all I want to know. Was it, what, could it possibly be this? Could it possibly be that you know, I've been praying on this, man. So I mean, God is my witness.
Right.
I want some closure. I want to understand, man, because my heart is heavy. And I want understanding. That's all I want. The Bible says get understanding. All I get is get understanding.
That's true.
Okay, so I want understanding, man. Anything can be forgiven, maybe not forgotten. Anything can be prayed or repented can happen.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is this: we have that huge problem. If it was maybe even an accident, as far as when it got out of hand or something, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If it got out of hand where it wasn't meant to be, or if it was that way you did that, and it was like just went up so fast that it was just overwhelmed. I mean, where they couldn't get out.
I didn't do that.
I need you to help me.
I mean,
So you would come in, if that's the case, Stanley, you seem like a good dude, and you know, respectfully, you're my elder. I'll be 48 next
Oh,
July.
48. Oh, okay.
47 in July.
All right.
I respect you. I got older brothers, and I need you to tell me, like, well, we know what happened. We all know what happened. I just need to know why, man. What's the potential? What was the hypothetical reason that
But
something
we
like
take
that
out. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. No, I don't go around set
Why
ways
would you be coming in your house
coming in the house.
right before?
Well, sometimes I go next door and work out.
But you told me you didn't do that.
What, work out?
You didn't come out. You said
No,
you was asleep.
no, I was asleep. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
Asleep.
but come on, man, you twisted me up. I took a TV. I didn't tell you that. I said I took a
I'm
TV.
telling you. I'm not asking you.
Yeah.
you. I'm saying you did.
I did what?
You came in the house right before.
Right before what?
She called.
Man, listen, I ain't setting no fire, man. If you said I came in the
I don't
house,
have anything in there that we're gonna find what we need to find. There's just something in there. Do you have any kind of torches or anything? Or
I always disable. I got a propane tank. Thing.
okay, it's a handheld.
It's a handheld, but I use that for hot water tanks.
Anything else?
No. I use that. I put in window with a hot water tank, so I put them in.
So once again, what would
To
you
save money.
What would you say? You told me hypothetically if you did come in right before, you said then what?
But
Then what is the?
I can't
You
listen.
this question. You asked.
What I'm saying is, Detective,
You asked me that
I'm
question.
gonna tell you once again. Yeah.
You asked me that question, right?
Yeah, I think I did.
You did. You asked me what, not then what, if you did come in. Right?
No. But listen, I didn't
That's
do
a
that.
problem. That to answer your question.
But what I'm saying
You
is,
said you agree with me. That's a huge problem.
how's it a huge problem?
Because you didn't tell me that originally. You originally told me you was asleep.
I was asleep. I took a TV over there earlier.
That was earlier. I'm not
Yeah.
talking earlier. I don't want to get sidetracked.
And then-
away from what.
And then one minute I thought about going over and exercise, and I did. You know, I was gonna go exercise and I didn't exercise.
And you never came out the house. You told me.
Oh.
You and your wife never came out the house.
Well, she didn't
You
know.
looked out windows.
Yeah, when she woke me up to the fire, I don't want to tell her.
You looked out the windows.
Yeah, I told her. She woke me up there.
Came outside.
This what happened. I took a TV over there, and then I came back home.
When was
So,
this?
I don't know what time it was. I took it over there, and it was dark. I took it over there. I don't know what time it was.
No, you would have seen this fire. You took the TV over there.
I didn't see no fire.
That was early.
And then I did
What time was that?
and
Right
then-
after
I
midnight,
don't-
or was it?
I don't know what time it was. Then I told my wife, I said, I'll probably go over and exercise, you know what I mean? And she know I used to go over there, so because sometimes I can't exercise. And so, and then I said, I came on back home. But in and out, I mean,
I'm talking about right before. She
I
called.
don't know, man. No, I can't.
She called 911. I mean, that's a quick call.
But listen.
That's a quick call.
Listen.
But you agree, if you see some flames, you'll call right away. Right?
Yeah,
That's
you
anybody.
you're supposed to call right away.
Right.
But see,
That's
I don't know what time.
I'm not worried about the specific time. What I'm talking is this. What I'm saying
So-
is this. You told
so
me
by
you
the-
never came out your house.
No, I told you I took a
No,
TV.
no.
I took a TV from the.
That was early.
Right.
I'm talking about right when the flames happened. When she saw the flames,
I can't see myself
you
coordinating.
looked out and saw the flames.
Well, when she woke me up, I can't see myself coordinating.
She woke you up.
See, I don't even know what time it started.
I'm not,
Yeah.
that's kind of irrelevant.
I know that because all this is stammering. I don't even know what time she called.
Well, we're going to talk timeline. Let's talk timeline here.
So I don't even know what time she called.
I tell time she
So,
called
what?
right before 3, like she said.
Oh, okay. She said 2.
Right before 3 a.m. She said I was up around 2, but it was right before 3 when she
I
called.
was in the
That
house.
I can tell you definitely.
I was in the house, and I was laying in the bed.
Okay.
You
So
know.
why would somebody come in your door?
Nobody
That
should.
you wouldn't know. Because nobody should, right? Nobody should be coming.
Somebody came what in 1370 doing
Send me to the press.
at that time.
Right before.
You mean right before the fire started?
I'm not saying this is before it started, or right after.
See,
Right
okay, then.
again.
Okay then.
I'm not wrong about this.
Okay.
I'll tell everything.
Listen.
As they
I'm gonna
say.
tell you something. I go to my mom's house sometimes in the morning and I exercise. Okay.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm not talking about something. Let's stay strictly on
Okay.
this. Is that fair enough?
I ain't starting no fire, man. I don't do that shit, man. That's dangerous,
If I
man.
prove that you did, we got a problem.
You gonna prove that I started the fire?
I'm saying if it shows that, if evidence shows anything different, we already got problems. People die.
So you
It's what I'm saying is this to you. All I want is clarification.
I ain't used nothing.
I don't want-
man. I don't need how that first started. You know, I didn't.
What do you think? How do you think it started?
I don't know. I don't have
The thing is, we know what happened.
I
So
think-
why would something like that? I mean, it's possible just got out of hand.
I don't know. I didn't do it. I don't have.
Maybe you got away. It just went up so quick.
I don't know them people. They don't. You can ask them, his family. They don't know me. I don't know them.
I'm not saying you're necessarily no.
I ain't had no beef with them. Not that I know of. I know they had, how can you have a beef with somebody you don't know?
Some things will always cause some beef.
What?
There's a lot of things.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm 58. I'm not gonna just go around and put somebody's house on fire, for no damn reason. And then I don't do that shit anyway. That shit hurts.
Oh, yeah.
I've been burned before.
Oh, yeah.
So I know damn well I ain't gonna do that.
There's not always a fire to get you. Sometimes it's smoke first.
Yeah, I used to live in Little Rock. I got burnt on my leg. That shit hurt. See my leg? Yeah.
I got you.
So,
We'll be fine.
Nah, man, I don't play with fire, man. And I ain't the type of person who trying to burn people up.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't intentional.
I ain't do it, man. You insinuate that.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm talking
You said
I'm saying I got a problem with your,
my alibi?
why was you an alibi?
Not an alibi. I mean, what I was doing around my house. My wife out between my wife and my house. That.
I didn't say what you was doing. I'm saying somebody coming in right before the fire. I'm very specific.
Don't nobody come in and out my house before no fire.
Right after. Somewhere in that, I'm talking about minutes, seconds window. I'm not talking about hours. I'm not talking about earlier with the TV. I'm not talking about sometimes I work out. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about specifically, a short, small window.
They came in the side door.
When your wife,
I was asleep too.
nobody else come over.
I can't see how that happened. I can't see how that happened.
That's what
I'm
we
trying
got.
to see how that happened.
Let me lay it out for you. That's what we got.
Okay.
We got very specifics. We got you and your wife in the house and your kids.
Right.
Okay, there wasn't no kids that did this. It was a male. Okay. And
I don't know who did it.
you kind of you got to look like a little bit when you walk through the bones or from age or arthritis.
I don't know if I have a limp. I'm pigeon-toed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, so this is what we got definitely. We got definitely what we got. We got. You want to call it in. You said you can't remember, you don't know when you said you were asleep, and then she woke you up. Then we got somebody coming in your door. That's a problem. And you said you agree with me. That's a huge problem. Which we can agree on that. All I want to know is what in the world could have happened or could have created such a circumstance or situation to possibly something like that.
I don't know, man.
Something like that happened.
I'll tell you once again, I didn't set nobody's house on fire. I don't even know how it started. I don't know who did it. I don't even know how it went up in flames. I don't know what happened. I just know a lot of these houses got old wires. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I really don't.
You gotta help me out.
I'm trying to, man.
I need your help.
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to.
You said, let's talk hypothetical.
No, I don't want no hypothetical. No, we want facts, man.
Let's talk facts.
Because I'm being looked at like I'm like I told you
Let's talk
before, man.
facts.
I'm being looked at like I'm
Is that why
suspect.
you were a little hesitant for coming down?
Well, no, I had,
Let's talk facts.
the police
Let's talk
departments
facts.
run the same way. You know, they get you in there.
Let's talk facts.
Go on.
Let's talk facts. We don't figure all that.
Okay.
Let's just talk facts.
Yeah.
You and your wife go home. Your kids. A fire happened. Right after the fire, I know for a fact. Came to the side door. The same door you asked me. Only not.
Okay.
For a fact.
Okay.
Facts.
Okay. Man, listen. Only thing
Tell me what I'm missing. What I'm missing.
I'm missing something too.
Like that happened.
I don't know. But
Is there a fetish or something? Or
no. I ain't into that shit.
some kind of fascination, man?
No.
I mean, everybody got their vices.
Sometimes I get up, my legs hurt. I get up, I exercise to get some circulation. I didn't exercise, and sometimes I do it in the house. On the
You
living room.
came out, so you had no reason to come out.
Sometimes I come out, I get tea.
I'm talking about right there. Let's talk about some facts. Let's talk facts.
See, I really listen. Mother Day, I can't really
Let's talk
recall.
facts.
I'm talking about. I can't really recall too much right there.
Listen, no, there was a fire blazing.
I ain't seen no fire.
When the person came, when you went back in the side door, the fire was going.
I ain't seen no fire, man.
And And maybe your wife called after that, maybe you told her to call.
I know, I went to the
Did
doctor.
you have permission to
Actually,
wake her up and said, call 911?
I didn't wake up. She woke me up and said, there's a fire going, and she said, I'm calling 911. And I told her, go right ahead. That's what I told her. I told her to go right ahead.
Yeah, I need your help, we right here.
And then by me telling her to call right ahead, I'm being a suspect, you know?
That's not what it is. That ain't nothing to do with her at all.
Yeah, come on.
I'm glad she called.
Yeah, I'm glad she called too. I mean, I told her about a lot of stuff, you know, because it was something happening up here before.
Let's not do that.
Okay, all right, let's keep it. All right, let's keep it.
We did that all last night.
Okay, we gotta keep going.
We did that all last night, man.
That's right time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that all last night. We had to do that. Don't like a few minutes off.
I have a daughter to pick up at 3.
Okay, well, it's 12:55, so that's only like 2 minutes.
Yeah, we got time. Let's take a look. Once again, I'm coming through.
If I show you, let me make you this deal. You tell me for a fact that you definitely ain't coming after the fire. If I show you, you give me the truth. If I show you, fact. Okay, if I show you. Fair enough?
But I can't agree, I won't agree with
If
that
I show
because see, I'm always
If
doing.
I show you.
But
Fair enough, is that fair, right? You like facts, right?
see, if you said I came in right after the fire, I don't have no knowledge of that.
If I show you. I'm just making
Okay, now if you show me that I came in after the fire, then what? You trying to insinuate I did it, and I'm telling you I didn't do it.
No, I'm
Even
asking
if you
if
do-
I show you facts.
If you show me facts of fire, I came in, if someone else came in, but no one is in my house to come in, so evidently it had to be,
You ain't telling me the truth.
it had to be me coming in, probably.
Yeah, no, the mail's in the house.
Okay, no.
No other mails came to your house. No, the mails came over.
Okay, but
No other mails, listen.
No, but I don't know.
Right, I got you. No other mails, you don't play that. No other mails came over. Nobody left. No other mails left. No mails lived there, but you. Just you.
Right.
Okay? We know it's a huge problem. We know the fire happened. We know that your wife called. After she looked out and saw her, you told her to call.
I ain't telling her to call. She saw it on her own.
If I show you, you give me the truth.
You can show it to me,
I can
but
show you.
the truth gonna be, I did not do that.
I'm asking you.
I can give you all the truth I can. So you show me flames going up, and I'm coming in the house.
That's a problem.
And that's not a problem.
That's a problem. It's a huge problem.
No, it's not because
It is. You can't talk that one. You can't talk.
Detective Looney, at this point, earlier on, you said if you're coming in the house after the fire, is that a huge problem? And his response to you originally was,
It is a huge problem.
and now you've progressed the conversation, you've informed him that you have proof of him coming in, and now what's his response?
Denial.
And what about the problem?
It's not a huge problem, is what was told.
All right. So I'm just going to go back just a second here. And it's not playing.
I came in, if someone,
If I show you, you give me the truth. If I show you, fact. Okay, if I show you. Fair enough?
but I can agree, I won't agree with
If
that
I show
because see, I'm always
If
doing.
I show you.
But
Fair enough, is that fair, right? You like facts, right?
see, if you said I came in right after the fire, I don't have no knowledge of that.
If I show you. I'm just making
Okay, now if you show me that I came in after the fire, then what? You trying to insinuate I did it, and I'm telling you I didn't do it.
No, I'm
Even
asking
if you
if
do-
I show you facts.
If you show me facts of fire, I came in, if someone else came in, but no one is in my house to come in, so evidently it had to be,
You ain't telling me the truth.
it had to be me coming in, probably.
Yeah, no, the mail's in the house.
Okay, no.
No other mails came to your house. No, the mails came over.
Okay, but
No other mails, listen.
No, because I don't know.
Right, I got you. No other mails, you don't play that. No other mails came over. Nobody left. No other mails left. No mails lived there, but you. Just you.
Right.
Okay? We know it's a huge problem. We know the fire show you, you give me the truth.
You can show it to me, but the truth gonna be, I did not do that.
I'm asking you.
I didn't give you all the truth I can. So if you show me flames going, flames going up, and I'm coming in the house,
That's a problem.
and that's not a problem.
That's a problem. It's a huge problem.
No, it's not, because
It is. You can't talk that one. You can't talk about that
the
one.
reason why I say it's not a problem,
That's
because
not something you can talk about. It's not like, it's not, you can't talk about that.
oh, it's not that, no, the reason why I say it's not a
I
problem.
like you. Actually, I like you. You said you're a good dude.
Oh, man.
So you're a good dude. We talking cordial, right?
Yeah, but
I would have liked to come up by myself and hey,
But
Mr.
you
Ford, how you
take-
doing? What's
you
up,
take-
hey? Good. Shake hands.
Baby Looney, if I came in and you said you saw the fire, that don't support the fact that I did it. I'm telling you, I didn't do
Now
that.
you're trying to talk your way around.
I didn't do
Yeah,
that.
I know you're very good at that misdirection thing, the deflection thing. I know that. Because I listen over and over to you.
No, I told you direct. I didn't do that.
I'll listen to you.
I'm telling you,
I know you're good at that.
I'm telling
What
you,
you done, now what you try to look at is how strong of a case is. And that's kind of irrelevant. I know it's
I'm strong of a case.
It's me and you right here.
But they take it on you.
You basically what you're doing is, let me tell you what you're doing. You said, see, that don't support that. It's like basically what you're telling me is, you almost like it's something like you can't prove it.
No, I ain't saying
That's what
that.
you're
I ain't
saying.
saying that.
That's kind of what you're saying.
I'm telling you,
That's kind of what you're saying. You're talking Troy.
Troy.
That's kind of what you're saying.
Troy. Once again, man to man. I'm telling you, hard. I didn't do that. I did not do that.
If I show you,
You can show me the fire, but I did not do that. I did not do that,
I
man.
know we got the canine out here. State fire, these are state fire marshals.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I saw them myself with that. You know what?
You know the training, right?
Yeah. Do you? I think it's supposed to be pretty good, or whatever.
Whatever trained in locating incendiary or accelerants or whatever.
Okay. Just
That specifically is what that canine that's in your house right now is trained in.
You got a canine in my house?
That's the fire marshals here. Arson investigators, Akron police, detectives and police officers, crime scene units here, state fire marshals.
So they're looking for an accelerant? That's supposed to
You was on the search warrant. We just showed that to you.
Oh, I got gas. I use gas for my
One time
life.
on gas, or potentially gas.
I
But I mean, there should be no gas on any of your clothes, right?
No, I got no gas in my clothes.
Should be no gas on your clothes, right?
I get gas in my clothes when I cut grass.
Okay. But you been grassing.
Clothes.
Clothes
and boots. Yeah.
What kind of boots?
Red wings.
Skin color? Still tell me. What color?
Like a dark brown.
Like a Terminator?
Yeah, they red wings. Yeah. They hot top.
So help me out. Help me.
So Detective Looney, at this point in time, you're still in your investigation, the search warrant is going on. You don't know necessarily what's been found at this point. Is that fair?
That's correct.
So you ask him about what he's wearing, what he cuts his grass in, and he gives you an answer, correct?
Yes.
And he tells you, I think we hear it, but what did he tell you here?
Red Wings, boots.
Okay. Did he mention at any time at that point anything about sneakers or New Balances?
No.
With this person, you come in the side door. Is there anything you can think of that any reason why you would be coming in right where you can clearly see the reflection in your house and lights up, almost daylight?
I didn't see that. We did. I didn't
We
see
did. I'm telling you, we did. So I just need you to help me with reason. I'm trying to see the reason. I mean, if somebody say something to you crazy or threaten you from the house, or if they're doing their thing and you watching the neighborhood,
I don't know what they
that's a reason for them to be like, man, this dude might call on us. That's a suspicion. You have a picture of somebody here?
I don't know them. I never had no words with them.
So was this something that maybe trying to get them to move?
I would like
that's
to
one way to get them to move.
No.
Somebody
I would love to move. I would love to move.
Was that a good way to get rid of somebody and move out the neighborhood or get rid of
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it like that. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do it at all. I ain't gonna set somebody on fire just to get them out of the neighborhood. That ain't godly like man. That ain't human nature like that.
Yeah, that's evil. That's pure evil, right?
Man, I'm not evil,
I'm
man.
not saying you're evil. I'm saying that that happened.
I didn't do it.
And sometimes, trust me, I've had talks with a lot of people over the years. Sometimes people have told me sometimes things happen, it's got out of hand, or it's an accident, or a reflex, or
I didn't do that.
so if I could show you and show you multiple facts,
Well, if you show me some facts, I'm still gonna tell you to your face, I didn't do that.
even if I show you,
Show me facts. What? That I set a fire?
yeah, I'll show you. You still wouldn't admit to me what you said.
I didn't like no fire, man.
I'm saying what you admit to me if I show you facts.
That I set a fire? I ain't set no fire, man. I ain't set no
If
fire.
I show you, would you admit it to me? Man to man.
If you see me lit a fire and I did it, I will admit to it, but I didn't set no fire on
If
nobody.
I show you facts, though, if I show you multiple
You
facts,
keep saying facts. What facts?
the facts that we have,
What kind of facts? You have?
what I just told you, if I prove it to you,
What you said, you saw some flames and you saw me move.
yeah.
So that's facts that I set a fire.
That's like you ain't told me the whole truth. You ain't told me the whole truth. That's what the truth is. All I want.
Man.
All that I want is the truth. That's all I really want.
Detective Troy.
That's all I want to stay on. All I want is all I want is the truth.
Troy. I raised my right hand on my mom. I did not set. I wasn't raised to burn people up. Man, my mom was turn over in that damn grave, man.
Maybe it was intentional.
I didn't do it. That wasn't me. I didn't set nobody on fire, son. If you got some facts or something, then
Nobody stay with you?
huh?
Nobody else stay with you?
No, man. I don't want nobody in my home, but I ain't set that fire, man.
So this K-Lad come back and tell us some other stuff. Things they found or whatever.
Some other stuff like what? Oh, I told you what I got. I got gas.
Okay.
Yeah, I got propane tank, and I always disassemble off the tank. And it's going on for putting in hot water tanks. You know, I put in one in my mom. I put in one in my wife for years.
We ain't talking about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the fire.
Okay.
The fire.
I didn't set on fire. I'm gonna stick with that story because I didn't do that. I know I didn't do that. I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm just gonna give another time and I can show you some photos and things we got.
The only thing I can tell you, Troy, I didn't do it. And I'm honest with that, man. And
But you agree that's a huge problem.
about what?
That if we see somebody coming in your door. You said
No,
you
no,
sleep.
no. I was asleep. But I was asleep when she
You
called.
said that's a huge problem.
But listen.
Detective Looney, at this point, again, you raised the issue about the huge problem that he had originally admitted to. How does he respond? Does he respond differently this time?
I believe so, yes.
For some reason, it doesn't.
Stop, man. Stay there. Open over to your ear. If I show you facts, if I show you multiple
You
facts,
keep saying facts. What facts?
the facts that we have,
What kind of facts? You have?
what I just told you, if I prove it to you.
What you said, you saw some flames and you saw me move.
Yeah.
So that's facts that I set a fire.
That's like you ain't told me the whole truth. You ain't told me the whole truth. That's what the truth is. All I want.
Man.
All that I want is the truth. That's all I really want.
Detective Troy.
That's all I want to stay on. All I want is the truth.
Troy. I raised my right hand on my mom. I did not set. I wasn't raised to burn people up. Man, my mom was turn over in that damn grave, man.
Maybe it was intentional.
I didn't do it. That wasn't me. I didn't set nobody on fire, son. If you got some facts or something, then
Nobody stay with you?
huh?
Nobody else stay with you?
No, man. I don't want nobody in my home, but I ain't set that fire, man.
So this K-Lad come back and tell us some other stuff. Things we found or whatever.
Some other stuff like what? Oh, I told you what I got. I got gas.
Okay.
Yeah, I got propane tank, and I always disassemble off the tank. Yeah, and it's going on for putting in hot water tanks. You know, I put in one in my mom. I put in one in my wife for years.
We ain't talking about that.
I'm
talking about the fire. The fire.
I didn't set on fire. I'm gonna stick with that story because I didn't do that. I know I didn't do that. I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm just still coming out of town, and I can show you some photos and things we got.
The only thing I can tell you, Troy, I didn't do it. And I'm honest with that, man. And I'm not gonna
But you agree that's a huge problem,
about what?
that if we see somebody coming in your door. 'Cause you said
No,
you're
no,
asleep.
no. I was asleep. But I was asleep when she
You
called.
said that's a huge problem.
But, listen.
Let's say the fire happened, you see the reflection when you're on your house.
I ain't seen
You
no
come
fire
back from the
finish
side
on
door, well, I mean,
Cause that, you know, that's a pretty huge light. But what I'm,
exactly, it's
but
very huge
what
light.
I'm telling you is,
Very huge light.
I did not move truck, be telling the truck, I did not.
Did you hear any booms or anything?
I ain't hear none of that. I ain't hear none of that. I just heard my wife say there's a fire. I'm gonna call 911. So I said, well, go right ahead. And when I told her that, you know, and next thing you know, we told Detective Smith, we called 911.
You said she
No,
called?
she called. I didn't call. Yeah, she called. I would have called if I would have saw it. But I was laying down. I tried to lay down. I had to take care of 2 girls, man. Them 2 girls, man, they didn't make my whole beard gray. My beard wasn't this gray until I had 2 girls, man. You know, I had some black in my beard.
Okay.
You know. So, but I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Help me understand. Help me understand.
I didn't do that.
Help me understand that.
I did not do that.
Coming from the side door.
My side.
If you say you didn't do it, you know what you did.
I don't know who, man, if I know who did, I'd turn him in, man. You know, I didn't do that. You know, I didn't do that, man. Sometimes I get up at night and go
You
out.
weren't too sure about when you went out, or if you went out, you know.
Well, I go out. I go out sometimes to the back. I have this lemon balm. I have it's a leaf. It's lemon balm. You put it with your teeth.
Okay.
I drink that every year. It comes up every year. I drink that. I used to have some mint. And somehow I died off. So I drink lemon balm all the time to soothe the body. You know.
So did you or did you not come in right after the fire was gone?
I didn't know no fire was going.
Did you or did you not come in the house?
What I'm saying is,
You would know.
right? I didn't know if fire was going. You know, and I go out sometimes. And
Did you go out that night? I know sometimes.
in the early morning, I was gonna get some. I probably did make some tea.
Did you go out?
If I went out, I went right there in the back.
But you said you didn't know before. You said
I said no. See, what I'm saying is,
What you said is no, you didn't.
I took a TV next door.
That's
So
right.
what I'm telling you, and then I make tea sometimes. So if I did go out, I went and got some lemon balm and make some tea. But at that time, I didn't see no fire going on.
You would have saw it.
Well, I didn't see no fire, man.
This is a 911. Yeah, you wasn't making tea and you wasn't taking no tea
Oh.
out. You told me earlier. That was earlier.
Yeah, okay, what?
That wasn't the case.
Well, I didn't do that. I took a TV. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. You know, if you got me coming in the side door and doing the time to fly, it's not a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah, you said yourself.
It is a problem. It's not a problem with me.
It's a problem, all right? We agreed to that.
It's a problem to whoever created or how it happened. That's a problem.
But the problem is at your house. You coming in your side door, right? That's a problem for you.
But it's not no problem for me because I
That's a
didn't
problem.
start a fire.
That's a problem.
Oh, some of us close the fire then.
We're still waiting on that.
You waiting on it from where?
What I'm telling you is this. I just want the truth. That's all. That's all I'm telling you.
I gave you what I got, Jack. Y'all rough me up,
We
man.
ain't rough you up.
Huh?
We ain't rough you up. He asked you to put your hands.
He kinda like-
He asked you to put the phone down. You put your arm down, and that was it. You ain't get thrown to the ground. You ain't get put up against the house.
Y'all used to do that?
Something if we have to, we don't comply. We have the right to escalate.
Well,
We
you guys
need to.
are mean,
We're
man.
not mean. This is business. We can't afford to get hurt. But that didn't happen. None of that happened in this case.
I ain't trying to hurt no police,
None of
man.
that happened in this case. You weren't roughed up. And we explained to you when you asked, I explained to you got a warrant.
Okay, Detective Troy.
And we showed you paper, right?
Yeah, afterward. I didn't do that.
Yeah, we showed you.
I didn't do that, man.
So here we are. We have search warrant for both houses now. Both houses. And we find some stuff. We can potentially find some things that we're interested in. What does all that mean? That's what the truth. That's all. That's what that means.
I didn't do that, man.
Did you have any involvement at all?
Man.
Going in or out, or did you go down the street and look?
I'm not going.
Is it possible you went down the street and looked?
What, fight the fire?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Is
think
it
that.
possible?
I ain't gonna say no. I didn't do that, man.
Is it possible?
I ain't do no fire, man.
Is it possible that you went down there and
Down where?
looked out the side when
Detective Looney, at this point, after an hour of this interview, you asked him about going down the street, fair?
Yes.
And he tells you what?
I don't recall exactly. Kind of mobile.
Say go down the street. I don't even
Came out the house.
I ain't do that, man.
Did you have any involvement at all?
Man.
Going in or out, or did you go down the street and look?
I'm not going.
Is it possible you went down the street and looked?
What, fight the fire?
Yeah.
No,
Is it possible?
I ain't gonna say it. No, I didn't do that, man.
Is it possible?
I ain't do no fire, man.
Is it possible that you went down there and looked?
That way.
Out the side, went down there and looked? There you go.
I ain't go down the street.
What did he say?
I didn't go down the street.
Why would I go down the street? I don't
You
even,
never came out the house.
I don't even like to go down the street. Go down there.
Right. You said that before.
And how many days after the fire is this?
This is on the 18th,
And the fire was?
5:15.
Okay.
Yeah, the road is bad. Yeah, so I didn't do
Is it
that.
possible you just got out of here?
Man, I don't know what happened with them in that situation. I'm being
I'll
honest.
tell you what happened. Some kids that adults got killed.
Oh, I know that, but I didn't do it. And I'm gonna stick with that. I didn't do it. I mean, when you guys lock me up, I'm gonna tell them I didn't do it. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I don't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that, man. I can't take no fault for that. I didn't do that. Now, this is something I did. I would come clean. I didn't do
I don't want
that.
you to.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that, man. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
So help me out. You know we still got this problem, yo. So
Well, you asked me to help you, and I gave you the truth that I didn't do it.
from what you recall, you said
I don't know who did it, and I made breakfast for my wife. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to that house, man. I really don't know what happened, man.
okay.
I don't know what happened. I really don't.
All right. Well, let me see where we're at. So let me say this. If I say to you, 7 people died.
No, I saw that. I saw that.
Why? Let's come straight forward and say why.
I don't know why. For one,
7 people.
I didn't burn nobody.
5 kids and 2 adults.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Why would you do something like that?
Detective Troy, one thing, I didn't know there was a lot of people was in there.
So maybe you didn't know people was in there.
I didn't.
Well, maybe you just looking at just the house. That's fair. I mean, if that's the case,
What I'm saying is,
then that's called
okay.
maybe you
I didn't know.
that shows that it wouldn't have been intentional.
I didn't know there was a
Killed
killer.
him.
No. That's what I'm going. I
You said you
didn't.
didn't know people was in there.
I didn't even know them. I didn't know that.
People were home.
I don't know nothing about them people. I wasn't trying to study them people. You know they movements. You
You
know.
said you didn't know people was in there.
Well, I didn't, and I saw it on the news because I told my wife, I said, you know, we have our kids play out here. We kick the soccer ball and play and do the frisbee. And I used to just see one kid down there playing. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. And I never tried to venture down there to be friends. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not
You
doing
said
that.
to me, let me say this. You said to me, so what if it does show?
Show it.
You're coming in the side, or you said, what does that
No.
mean? Is that what you asked me?
You told me you got evidence I set that fire.
You asked me this question. You asked me, what does that mean if it does show you coming in right before she called? You asked me that.
Yeah, but that,
I can tell you what it means.
What does it mean? I did it. It means I did it. That's what you're saying, right? I didn't do that. I didn't do that, man. I didn't do that. And some nights I walk down the street and back, you know what I mean? For my legs and stuff, and I just come back home. Sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? I think I earned the right to do that. You know, I worked.
Right.
Taxpayer, you know what I mean? I pay taxes. Yeah.
Well, so you said you came out now.
No, I didn't say that. I said sometimes I walked in.
I called that night specifically.
I can't recall, man. I can't
You can't
recall.
recall.
I recall I took a TV off, but I can't recall the time he said you saw somebody come in my side door relating to
The fire.
when the fire was in
You would
blaze.
have seen this, and the light was so bright, you could not miss it.
Huh?
No way. No way to miss it.
Okay, I
Your
didn't.
wife couldn't even miss it. She was in the back going to the bathroom. And I don't even know this whole structure of land, how your house is set up. But for her to have seen the light, red light, and you would have been outside coming in. You seen it.
I didn't see that. She saw it through the window.
Right, she saw it through the window. I'm saying you saw it coming back in.
I ain't seen no
You
because I didn't do that.
Is there any for the porch, so we can get on the porch? It's locked from the inside. Which keys? Show which key that is.
To the front door.
Is that the front door that goes out to the porch?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm gonna clear this up.
Man, I don't know, man. I didn't do it.
I'm clearing up this.
And you said they got the fire marshals.
Yeah, they here.
They checking for.
They here.
You said they checked the house.
Mm-hmm. The K9 went in, and they know.
Did they check the house over there too?
1974?
No, they checked
Yeah,
out.
we checked the house too. We got stuff.
The one that's burned.
Yeah, they checked that too.
Okay. Well, I don't got nothing in there matching that. Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah.
You shouldn't. No, what if you do?
I ain't got nothing in there matching that because I didn't do it.
If you do?
I didn't do that. I ain't got nothing. I told you I got gas. I keep gas for my lawnmower. I got a propane tank. I got two propane tanks, you know, because I got a heater for my propane tanks.
Okay.
Yeah, for the garage. You know, I got my heater that takes a propane tank, so I have two of those, but I don't use them for that. I use them.
There's no reason why you should.
I got a propane tank for to do work on hot water tank, and I got the two big propane tanks for the for like if you want to cook with a grill or something like that. But that's for my heater, my garage heater.
So help me out with this. How can I get to the truth of what happened?
I didn't do it, man. So you know you try to.
Everybody that you know might have done it.
I wouldn't put nobody on nobody to do that. That ain't my heart, man. Listen, I really listen.
You know, you said you ain't know all the people was in there. So you ain't know all the people was in there, maybe.
Because you keep asking me did I know them. I'm telling I didn't know them. They didn't know me. I didn't bother those people. No people didn't bother me. So I don't have no right to go down there and bother somebody that's not bothering me. And then I don't have no right to be trying to burn people, period. And that is not in my heart to be burning people. I'd rather know, well, listen here.
You have an incident before with somebody?
Huh?
Somebody mad at you? You ever arguing with people in the neighborhood?
I ain't arguing with nobody, you know.
At least he talked to you last year for the other one.
Yeah, I didn't do that either. Listen, man, you don't know what's on people. Them people, man, they was involved in stuff.
Guess
Listen,
what?
listen, I'm gonna tell you like this here. They used to invite me on the porch. I would never go. And listen, and people would try to beat you down to get you. Listen, society's like this, a sick society.
Right.
Sick
You
society.
know, I know better than anybody.
Yeah, you got men out here trying to beat another man down and make them conform to their ways. I'm not that man.
Right.
You're not gonna beat me down like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would knuckle up with you with these.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming
So
from.
who tried to beat you down?
There's quite a few people in life
I'm
have.
talking about the people on this block.
Oh, I had an incident with this dude they called Tommy, you know.
Okay.
You know, and
Come on with Dale.
I had the deal, man. They was like gay,
Okay.
you know. I ain't with that shit.
So he was trying to what?
Man, I ain't with that shit. No, I ain't trying to come at me. They used to have gay people up there kissing on each other with prostitutes and shit.
Okay.
You know, I ain't with that shit. So I didn't mess with them. Everybody up there to play dominoes and drink. I said, dude, I don't drink. You don't want to have a beer with us? I said, man, I don't drink. I don't do that
You
shit.
tell me, man. We still at this problem.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I don't do that, man.
Clear up, man. Why does somebody come in your side door?
Hey,
Why would you be coming in your side door?
Yeah, like I said,
Right before it was going. It was already going. Why would
I don't have no recollection.
Why would you be coming back in that direction?
If I was coming in my side,
Walk that direction, fire go up, and you come back from that direction, running,
from what way?
jogging. No, not running, but jogging.
Jogging from what way?
Jogging from the fire, and then you go in your side door. So
Side
around
door?
the house, and around the house, and come to the side door.
Wait, side door to my mom's house?
No, south side of the 37. 3 beds?
I know I went in my mom's house and went to 1370, but I ain't jogging on the street and went to no 1370.
It's a little fast place to walk. Help me out.
I'm trying to. I didn't do that, man.
Why would something like that happen?
I don't know, man.
Maybe it was an accident.
Not on my behalf, it wasn't because I didn't do it.
You think you maybe got out of hand or got away from him?
I didn't do it. I didn't do that.
So once again, I'll show you some facts. You tell me the truth.
You keep
If you
telling
did that, you said you tell me, right?
Listen,
If you did, you said you tell me, right?
I didn't set no fire to nobody's house.
But you said if you did, you would tell me. Is that what you said?
If you got facts, you see me lighting something and burning somebody up.
If I got facts.
You got facts like that showing that I did that.
If I got facts. If I got facts, you tell me the truth, right?
If I did that, I didn't do it. If I did that, I tell you right now, I wouldn't even put you through it. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I know you guys trying to solve this case, but I'm not.
No, we're going to.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, we're going to.
You ain't gonna solve it. You ain't gonna solve it on me because I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
What was supposed to tell me how it cost me, man, about the babies?
Huh?
What was supposed to tell us family to call me, asking about the kid. We know this nigga about the kids. And
Oh, you gotta tell me I didn't do it.
you threw some shoes in the trash or you threw the shoes out.
What shoes?
The clothes. You threw some clothes away recently.
I ain't throw no clothes away. What shoes? Some clock. I ain't throw no clothes away.
Okay.
I threw an old pair of tennis shoes away because they was old. Got old and shit, but I ain't, man, listen. If they old, you throw them away. That's what you do, right? Yeah.
So some other get on the
I ain't getting on their soul because they got holes in them. They get wet. I don't get nothing sold. They get wet.
You got any sweatshirts or sweatpants in the house?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wear sweats. I work out with sweats.
What color?
I got gray sweats. I got a couple of set of gray sweats. I got some black sweats. I work out with that. I ain't allowed to have that.
I ain't said that. I'm just asking. So, help me out here. You said you know it's a problem. You agree that's a problem, right?
What, because I got gray sweats?
No.
I got black sweat?
Coming in the house right before she called.
I didn't do that, man. I don't know how that happened, but I didn't do that, man.
And nobody else came over. You said that.
But I didn't do that.
You said nobody else came
No,
over.
nobody came home, but I didn't do
You
that.
said you never left out, right?
I didn't tell you that. I said, yeah.
You said you never left out the house. You said what you said was.
I know what I said.
No, listen. Let me make sure I'm correct. You said she woke you up.
Yeah. I was laying
Told you it was a fire.
Yeah, like,
She looked out and you looked out. You didn't see nobody around.
and she said, I'm gonna call 911. I said, go right ahead.
Right.
But I took the TV over there. This what happened. I took my TV over there, and then I got back up, and I was gonna work out because I usually go get me some lemon balm and tea to work out the stuff. I don't know what time it was, man.
That's what happened.
And I made me some tea. I went next door and I came back and I went back in my house and I drank my tea. I didn't come back out. So sometimes I do come from 1374 up and back to the side. Sometimes I do come from 1374 and walk in the front up there. And sometimes I do walk the street and go up. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Let's talk about that night.
I can't recall too much of the night. I just told you that.
So how did you know so much about everything in the neighborhood?
Well, sometimes I be. No, I don't know everything. No. Let's get this right. I know stuff when I get up and I start watching the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Sometimes I be sleeping. I get up about 10, 11, I just watch the neighborhood. I'm watching TV.
So that night, sounds like you forgot. You can't recall.
Whoa. What recall what? Oh, I can recall.
Coming inside door.
I can recall that I didn't do that fire. I didn't do that fire.
I'm saying that you recall coming inside door. You don't recall coming in.
I just told you. I may have.
You seen the fire
I ain't see that. I may have come in there because I always going in and out of my mom's house. I check on
though. You
stuff.
seen the fire when you came in?
I ain't see no fire. That's why I laid down.
So it wasn't around at the same time.
I ain't do no fire, man.
Okay.
And you know, if I would start a fire and I was outside, I would have called 911 right away. Yeah, man, listen, I don't play that shit. I don't want that to happen to me. I would've called 911 right away.
So is there any reason why the canine would hit on accelerants on your clothes in your house?
What clothes?
If there's clothes in your house, the dog, canine, that's trained.
Okay.
That's how they train.
Okay,
You know what dog says, right?
Right, but if I got accelerant on my
You know how
clothes,
it says in the dog.
I cut grass with gas. Gas is accelerant.
I'm talking about that.
I ain't got no other accelerant.
So there shouldn't be nothing else.
Just gas. I got gas and propane.
If there is, that's another problem.
It is, I got turpentine to clean up stuff.
I'm talking about there's something else.
I shouldn't have nothing else unless they put it in there. I ain't put it in. I don't know. I'm telling you what I got. I got 2 big old tanks of propane for my heater for the garage when I used to work on cars in the wintertime. I got a skinny propane tank for my hot water tanks, for the solder and all that, because I do copper. And I got some PVC tied into my mom's house. I'm doing work on it. And I got turpentine when I painted my these shelves I got off the street when I used to collect scrap. I painted a black oil base, and it gets everywhere, and I use that to clean up. That's the only accelerant I got in there. And you know, if they
You
get,
look at explosive devices or anything,
man, I don't play with no damn explosive.
fireworks,
I
anything,
don't play with-
lighters.
I got lighters. I use lighters.
You get the lighters for like a grill or for like.
Yeah, for grill, candles and shit. And I got no lighter for it.
Okay.
Detective Looney, you just asked him a series of simple questions, correct?
Yes.
Did he have any issues answering those questions at that time?
No.
I got charcoal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what else can you tell me? I still need to clear that problem. I got a problem with that.
Man, listen.
Why would somebody come into your side door, man, right after it happened? Right when it happened. It's still going. It's actually still happening. So it's not after. It was while it was happening.
I can't recall a fire going, and if anybody coming to my side door, that's me.
I know.
And
I know it's you.
that's me, but the thing is,
I know it's you.
but I didn't set a fire though.
I know it was you that came in.
Okay, but I didn't set a fire.
It was you that came in. That's what you're telling me.
I'm saying, if anybody came in that side door, it was you. It was me, yeah.
Right.
But I didn't set a fire. Excuse me, I'm gonna keep on telling you that. I did not set a fire.
But so we can agree that coming in the side door, it was you.
It was me, what?
You
Set
came
a
in
fire?
the side door.
Oh, I probably did, because I go back, like I said, I go back here and I cut
You
lemons off.
can't remember.
Remember what?
You can't remember.
Oh,
Did you come in, let me ask you this direct.
Listen,
Let me ask you direct.
I can remember
Did you
this.
come in the side door and then she called 911?
No.
What is it you remember?
No, this is what I remember. I remember taking the TV over there and came back home, and then what I did was I was gonna go work out, and I decided not to because I was getting late, and I went and got some
How late was it?
I don't remember the time.
Roughly.
I don't know, man. And I went and got me some
Was
lemons.
it right before she called?
I can't remember.
Was it right before she called?
Okay, when she called, she woke me up. I was asleep, so
So it wasn't right when she
So I don't know what time that was right in there. I didn't write down the timeline, but I know I was.
You saw it right before. She said right before 3.
But I usually go.
She said before 3 a.m.
Okay, I don't know what time it was.
Did you take the
Because I
TV
know
out right before 3 a.m.?
I took the TV out long before that.
Okay,
And I know she called one and the line dropped. And she said, oh, the line dropped, and she called back.
Well, she called right back.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You know we got all the lines on recording.
Oh, fine. Well, I ain't trying to hide nothing, but guess what? Back to this here, I did not set that fire down at that address. I didn't do that.
And if I prove that that you're telling me a lie,
No, man, you
you're
prove
going to be lying to me.
You can't prove online I ain't set that fire, because I didn't set that fire. I'm not gonna sit, listen here, Doug.
You told me before that. You said you told me before you didn't come out the house and look at it.
I didn't say that. I
You
didn't
said
say
you
that.
said well, last night you told me, and this morning you told me,
I probably was.
she went to the bathroom and you looked out, but you never went out. You never came outside.
The day of the fire. So the day of the fire was what?
Sunday, Mother's Day, into Monday.
Okay.
You said you never came out.
I probably did tell you that. I probably was delirious then, man.
I'm talking about right now.
Oh.
This ain't that day. You know, why would you be delirious?
I'm kind of confused, man, right now
Why would you be confused?
because here it is. I'm telling you, I took a TV over there.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, sometimes I do get up and walk the street, and I'm allowed to do it. I don't do it
Let's
so.
talk right before the fire.
Okay.
Right after the fire.
Right.
When she saw the flame,
Okay, I know.
She called
I don't know what time it was. I know I went and cut me some lemon balm back back there and put it in some tea. And I usually do walk around my mom's house in the back and stuff like that, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and walk around the house. And like I said, I have a right to do that. But if I came in the side door and the fire was going on, I didn't do that fire.
You denied that.
Yeah, huh?
What you said, you denied seeing the fire going in the house.
I didn't see no fire, man. But
I didn't see the fire going in the
I
house.
didn't do no fire. Oh yeah, I didn't see no fire.
So we can agree to that. You said you ain't see the fire go in the house.
I didn't see no fire.
And then going in the house.
Yeah,
Go in the
if
house.
that's me back there in the back of my shirt, okay. No, it's just me going in there.
Yeah.
I didn't see a fire, okay? And
You would have seen this though.
well, I didn't see no
Remember the
fire.
time you came in the side door? Because it lit up the whole front of your house.
I didn't see that.
It lit up the whole front or side, whichever you hit press.
Either that.
That's the front, it lit up the whole front of
Either
your house.
that. I didn't see that.
You would have seen this.
Yeah.
You would have seen to the point where you would probably was calling.
I didn't see it. If I saw it, I wouldn't have called. No, if I seen it, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. I would have called on that, man. I'm for real, man. Hey, I'm for real. You know, I'm for real, man. I didn't do that. And that's what I can tell you, man.
We're gonna be in touch. We're looking at a lot of things.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I didn't do that. I didn't do that, man. I had my sister. We was waiting for you to come and talk, man. I didn't do that, man.
Don't you come downtown and look at some photos or video for them?
I don't want that on my heart,
I
man.
can make this right.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree, we gotta make it right.
Don't make it right on.
Okay, I gotta make it right.
Okay, don't make it right on my account.
No, I gotta make it
You're
right.
trying to put me in jail for it? Hell.
So why would you be coming in your house, man, at that time? Right when the fire was going?
I don't even know what time the fire was going. If I was
You
coming
said right before 3.
but see, I don't know what time I was coming in the house. If I was coming in the house, but once again, I didn't set a fire. And
So if I prove,
if I'm coming in my house, we
Yeah.
can check the door. I have the right to come inside of my door, man.
Yeah, what I'm saying is
That
this
don't mean I set that fire.
I'm saying there's other circumstances that lead to,
Me setting the fire?
what I'm saying is, there's other circumstances that show.
I
You
said,
said you claimed you was asleep. I'm telling you it wasn't.
I was
When I said you were asleep.
Well, too, when you came to the door, I was asleep.
I ain't talking about when I came to the door.
No, not you.
I'm talking
Officer
about,
Smith.
I ain't talking about Smith. I'm talking about right before the fire started. Or right after it started, you came in your side door.
And like I said,
You said if somebody came in your side door, it was you.
it had to be me.
Right.
Sometimes I go out there and I cut
Okay,
him about.
let's leave it at that then.
Yeah, I cut him about, but I didn't do that. I'm honest about that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
So if I prove to you, I'll show you other facts,
That I did that.
you gonna tell me the truth.
I didn't do that, man.
If I show you other facts, you tell me the truth.
You sure I did that? I admit to it, but I didn't do that. I'm not gonna admit to something I didn't do.
I'm not telling you to admit to anything. I'm talking to you. All I want is the truth, man.
Okay. I gave you the truth. I didn't do it, man.
So I appreciate you talking to me right now.
I didn't do that. I did not do that one, man.
Okay.
I was telling my sister and my niece, man.
What'd you tell
I told them, I said, hey, y'all here trying to pin me as a suspect. I'm setting the fire.
them? You said that last night?
Well,
Oh, you said it was you come talk to me that time.
it's just
Who
like
said that?
Well,
Did you ever say that?
it's writing on the wall what you
Did we ever say that? I don't yes like that.
Well, it's what
I
you
don't do that.
Okay, then.
I've been straight up with you, right?
Here's the reason I was trying.
Okay, this is all completed?
Yeah,
We're gonna wrap it up soon.
yeah, we're done with the one
Okay.
at your house,
I'm my wife.
We're still at the,
70.
Okay, that's my wife.
And I left the inventory, what we still had there, just some clothes and stuff. I left that there on the table by the TV. There's like 8 different things.
What'd you take out?
Some clothes.
I gotta get a copy of this.
Oh, my clothes? What kind of clothes?
There's a couple hoodies they took, a pair of shoes,
What kind of shoes?
New Balance shoes.
Okay.
He started, his copy, we have his copy.
So at that point in time, who came up to the car?
That was Lieutenant Forney,
And Lieutenant Forney was doing what?
conducting the search warrant.
And when he came back to the car, he was talking about that, was that what he was talking about?
Yes, he's bringing the inventory sheet, a list of what was taken.
And you were here earlier when there was, excuse me, testimony about a pair of New Balance tennis shoes, correct?
Correct.
At that point in time, Detective Forney indicated to you, in the presence of the defendant, that you collected New Balance tennis shoes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh,
His copies are left in there.
the shoes in them. They got grass with it. They got holes in them.
They were beat up.
Yeah, they got holes in them. The grass stains on them. Yeah, them was my lawnmower shoes.
Okay.
Detective Looney, now he's saying that those are his lawnmower shoes. Is that different from what he said earlier in this interview?
Yes, it is.
But just so we're clear, you know, I was talking to Stanley about, you know, you got knowledge of things, and we'll try to get this cleared up. So
What hood did you take out of 1370? What color? Some of that's got
we'll get a list of everything.
Blue
We'll
one.
get a copy.
You gotta get it back.
Well, they're gonna do some testing on it, I imagine, and then you can get it out.
Okay.
All right. So tell me what am I not asking? That might be important.
I didn't do that.
So at this point in time, you have essentially accused him of setting a fire that killed 7 people, including 5 children and a dog, correct?
That's correct.
Objection to leading.
It's for,
Overruled.
Thank you.
Ask the question now.
in regards to once Mr. Ford heard the items that were taken from his house, what was his concern?
It appeared he wanted to cover his tracks for the shoes that were.
But what did he say? What did he say to Detective Forney?
It's speculation on the detective's part to say that.
All right.
And I withdraw that.
Sustained. Hold on. Yeah, can I please rule?
I thought I would.
I know, could I please rule? So that's granted. You're to ignore and disregard the answer of Detective Looney. It's stricken from the record. You may proceed.
For some reason, this is not.
Yeah, them was my lawnmower shoes.
Okay.
So Detective Looney, I went back just a little bit so we can replay this.
Okay.
But just so we're clear, I was talking to Stanley about, you know, you got knowledge of things, and we'll try to get this cleared up. So
What hood did you take out of 1370? What color? Some of that's got
we'll get a list of everything.
Blue
We'll get a
one.
copy.
You gotta get it back.
What?
What does he say right there?
There's questions about what was taken or what colors were taken of clothing items.
And what does he then ask?
I'm not sure if I recall the question he asked.
Okay, we'll go back again.
I would object that this tape speaks for itself, not in Detective Looney's interpretation of the tape.
Well, he can testify, and then the jury can decide whether or not his testimony is accurate. You will be the sole judges of the facts and the credibility of the witnesses. You'll decide what the evidence is, what this tape is, what the statements are. Go ahead.
Things, and we'll try to get this cleared up. So
What hood did you take out of 1370? What color? Some of that's got
we'll get a list of everything.
Blue
We'll get a
one.
copy.
You gotta get it back.
Well, they're gonna do some testing on it, I imagine.
What did he ask?
Will he get the items back?
And then you can get it back.
Okay. All right. So tell me what am I not asking? That might be important.
I didn't do that far, man.
But you told me this. You did say if I can show you facts, or if we can put together facts.
Man, facts.
You know that you did agree that if somebody came in that side door,
Facts would have to be a person at the scene.
no, that's not how it works.
Oh, man.
It's bigger than that.
Okay, I ain't do that.
Technology's come so far now.
I know that, right? I didn't do that. Yeah. Well, they can take the clothes and check. I didn't do that, man.
Okay. But what I'm saying is this: you said if I prove it to you, you said you have to admit to it. Is that what you told me?
If you see me setting a fire, I ain't
If
setting
I
a fire.
prove it to you,
Did I set a fire?
if I prove that you did this, or you know about it involved, you said you have to admit.
I'll admit to it, but guess what?
Okay, that's fair enough.
I ain't gonna have to admit to it because I didn't do it.
Okay. So we'll be back in
Oh,
touch.
that's what you asked me about with some shoes in the trash? They got
He was telling you what we took.
Yeah, they got
You need a copy of everything that we take.
Yeah, it's
It's in order. It's in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else right now you want to tell me?
I said, they had them shoes, yeah. I cut grass with them shoes. In my grass shoes, they all grass stained.
How about the car?
My car, what about my car?
You cut grass in that? It's kind of warm right now.
They took my car?
Yeah, it's listed.
They put the car?
I don't know what color it is, but it's listed.
What, a coat? A black? Oh, I work on cars with that. It's all kind of oil on that thing.
Mm.
Yeah, I get on the ground with that, change oil, gave me that years ago from Craig, and I just kept it. Because in the winter time, that's what I put on. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be in touch with you.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you may get some stuff over there. You may get some transmission fluid or some oil.
You may get some incendiary stuff.
You shouldn't get that on
Sellers.
You shouldn't get that on that car. You get some oil and probably transmission fluid or some antifreeze because I fixed my wife's water pump when it was cold. You know.
All the same what we took, so we'll see what that brings back. All right.
All right, man.
Anything else you want to tell me right now before I continue?
I didn't do that, man. I didn't do that. But then they took my clothes. I didn't do that. And they probably take the car out because it got stains on it. And well, you know, all the time I run it in the winter time, shovel snow, something like that. Like I say, work on cars. And it's cool because you know on the ground is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be in touch with you.
You want us in, and we saw you do that. And I'm telling you,
I'm saying that you came inside. You told me if it's somebody coming to your side door, that's you.
That's me.
Okay, well that's it.
And guess what? I'm allowed to come in my side door.
But there was a fire. You would have seen this shit. You would have seen.
If I came out, I didn't see no fire.
You would have seen this one.
I didn't see that.
You seen this one.
Okay. I didn't
The
see
whole, the light shows bright. That's a bright light. You said.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
You'd have seen this one. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
If I would have saw it, I'd have gone 911.
But you had your wife call.
You know, my wife told me it was a fire.
You told me you saw and told the car.
No. My wife, yeah, she saw it, and she said it's a fire. And she said, I'm gonna call 911. I said, we'll call 911. That's what I told her. Those are my words. Yeah. That's what I told her.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch, sir.
All right, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking to me now. All right. And even if you got to come downtown.
Detective, now that you've heard the entire interview, does that accurately represent the portions of the interview that we played?
Yes.
Now, Detective Looney, in regards to your interview, you were clearly talking about the side door for an hour and 29 minutes, approximately. Most of that conversation was about the side door. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. And let me see here. And bear with me a moment here.
This is what states 122.
122, that's correct, Judge. So Detective Looney, I'm going to play a little portion of this video that we played yesterday during Brad Barkhurst's testimony. And did you have the opportunity to view this video during the time of your interview or prior to the time of your interview we just heard with Mr. Ford?
Yes.
Okay. And I tried to get it pretty close to the part I need, but we're a little bit ahead. So give me a second here. Now, obviously, Mr. Barkhurst has indicated that it looks like a light on the porch, correct?
A light visible from the porch, yes.
No, well, strike. So right here at 25 minutes into his presentation, we see an individual running. Is that fair?
That's correct.
And then following that, you were able to see that that individual appears to then go toward 1374.
Judge, I would object, the prosecution testifying.
Yeah, ask the question of what he sees.
Did you see that portion of the video at the time that you talked to Mr. Ford?
Yes, I did.
Now I'm going to move forward just a little bit longer. At this point in time, based on the timing of this, a few minutes later, do we see an individual?
About what?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Get the right time here. So do you recall seeing this part of the video at 27:07 and forward of Brad Barkhurst's video, or presentation rather?
Yes.
And in this presentation, this is the video that you would have viewed, or portions of it, before you had interviewed him.
That's correct.
You had talked to him about seeing the fire. What were you basing that on? You kept saying, you would have seen this, you would have seen this. What are you basing it on?
You can see the reflection from the fire right on the house at 1370 Hillcrest. It's illuminated as indicated by the square here on the video. As it gets brighter, the area continues to be illuminated from the reflection.
And did you notice the difference in Mr. Ford's house at 1370 in relation to the light?
Yes. Excuse me.
And I'm going to let this run a little bit longer. And now the frame is changed, and I'm going to pause it for a second here. The frame has changed, and now we were looking at camera 4, now we're looking at camera 2. Is that fair?
That's correct.
And this is still part of Mr. Barkhurst's presentation at 28 minutes and 30 seconds, correct?
That's correct.
And when you were talking about seeing the fire with Mr. Ford, is there anything about this part of the video that you had noted?
Yes, there appears to be an individual movement from 1374, and the house is illuminated still. That individual is now walking across the driveway towards 1370 Hillcrest.
And let me just go back here a second to that. And what do you note at that point in time regarding any kind of lighting?
I see apparent individual moving.
No, you were talking about him being able to see the fire. That's what we're talking about.
I'm sorry, yes, the illumination of the house at 1370 being lit up in that area.
And now we move back to camera 4 at 28:49. Is that fair?
That's correct.
And is this what you were referring to when you were interviewing Mr. Ford?
That's correct.
And for the record, what are we viewing here at 28:57?
This is camera 4's view from 714 volts showing 1370 Hillcrest, and apparently an individual going into the side door, the door opening, and the individual going into that location.
And I'm going to show you what I'm. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm going to show you what I marked for identification purposes as states 153. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a still shot of 1370 Hillcrest with an enlarged portion showing the door on the side of 1370 Hillcrest.
All right. And it's not exactly the same as what we're seeing in the presentation, but it's one of the frames from that presentation, or represents that. Is that correct?
It does represent it, yes.
And just so that and I know it doesn't show up very well on there, but is that what I just showed you, State's Exhibit number 153?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Detective, you at some point in time learned about the alarm code, right?
Yes.
And you got that information from where?
I originally requested the alarm information from our computer records room for both houses and residences, because the police department keeps record when you register your alarms, but the police department still will know who's the proper key holders that will be responding. So when officers are arriving to an active alarm, they'll know whether it's the person who owns it or a key holder that has access, and that will meet them there, someone that should be there.
And so you checked that with your police department?
That's correct, the records radio room.
And who were the key holders for the alarm at 13?
Objection, may I approach?
Sure. Objections overruled. You may proceed, Mr. LaPrinzi.
Okay, so Detective Looney, just to clarify, what is a key holder?
A key holder is someone that is on file with the police department or registered under their alarm system with the police department in terms of should there be an event or an alarm call with the police, they may be responding or have access as a key holder to that location.
All right, and I guess for those people who may not have an alarm service or system, how does that work? So let's say somebody breaks into your house, what happens?
There's a signal that is sent to the monitoring service for that alarm company, and they subsequently, if they don't get the password or it's not turned off in a certain amount of time, they call the police department or fire department should it be a fire alarm. And response from police are responding, police are receiving CAD notes, computer information in the cruiser while responding. Sometimes it often mentions who is the responding person or key holder, as we call that.
All right, so if a police officer shows up in an alarm for a break-in, how is that helpful to the police officer responding?
That's helpful to determine whether that person is the homeowner. It could be accidental, they could have forgotten their code, or it could be an actual event or live incident that's taking place where they need help or assistance. All
right, so that's important information.
Absolutely.
And is that used daily at the Akron Police Department?
Yes.
Is that information relied on by you and all the other officers at the Akron Police Department?
It is, yes, it's very helpful.
And you told us that you checked and the key holders listed for 1374 are who?
Stanley Ford and Anita Ford.
All right. You had also, I believe, in your interview asked Mr. Ford regarding who would have any keys to the house, and he indicated who?
He and his wife.
And did you ask him or give him the opportunity to tell you if others had keys to his home?
Yes, I did.
And what was his response?
I believe he said, not to my knowledge.
Okay. There was testimony about the alarm.com records, you recall that?
Yes.
And following the direct examination, on cross-examination, there was some testimony regarding the date that Mr. Ford was arrested, right, taken into custody.
Yes.
And that would have been what day?
5/23/17.
All right. And when he was taken into custody, then it was pointed out that there was some alarms, disarming and arming of the alarm code at 1374. You recall that?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to go back and review any records regarding anything of relevance to why that would have taken place?
Yes, I did actually. When I requested the records, I requested for 2016 and 2017, and we were at the time looking at the timeline of the incident, the fire, the 911 calls, and the alarm activation, deactivation, whichever mode that they had been placed in, and identifying dates and times specifically.
All right. And so may I approach, Judge?
You are. You may.
Showing you what's been previously identified as State's Exhibit 40. Oh, I'm sorry. Just on May 23rd.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Oh, there's no page.
There's a page.
It's on the side.
Yeah, it's on the side.
The big
It's on the
thing.
Oh,
side.
it's on the
Where-
other side. All right, it's page 65. Is that 65? Yeah, I know.
There's somebody that.
I know.
Last.
Right here behind me. I look at it. The one on the end of my hand.
65.
All right.
You're covering it up with your finger.
Thank you.
All right. So on May 23rd, when he was arrested, you arrested him at what approximate time?
Approximately 10 a.m.
All right, was he, when you arrested him, was he in his house or some other house?
He was actually coming out of 1374 when we had the house surrounded at 1374.
So at that point in time, the panel had been disarmed at what time?
By these records, it says 10:01.
Okay. And so you would have arrested him sometime after that?
That's correct.
And then the next time there's anything involving the alarm is panel armed stay, and that was at 21:05, which would be what time?
9:05 p.m.
Mr. Ford would have clearly been arrested at that time.
That's correct.
In the jail calls, did you review on that day, May 23rd, did he have a conversation with anyone regarding these alarms?
Yes.
Who was that?
I spoke with his wife and advised to set the alarm.
Advised her to set the alarm?
Yes.
All right. And was that alarm then set? How was it set?
Panel arms stay.
And then a minute after that, or the same minute actually?
Yes, panel arm away.
Okay. And then the next time the panel appeared to be, I guess, set or disarmed or whatever, was when?
Panel disarmed by Stanley Ford, 5/24/17, 16:49 or 4:49 p.m.
All right, and just because I know it's been testified to, but to be clear, it says by Stanley Ford, that's just what the records say, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and we've had testimony about that. And then that was at what time?
16:49 or 4:49 p.m.
And then then what's the next activity on that alarm?
Panel arms stay.
And then what time was that?
5/24/17, 16:58.
So approximately what?
4:58 p.m.
So 9 minutes later,
approximately.
and then the same minute, it's then panel armed away. Is that fair?
That's correct.
All right. And then that's the last really one, I believe, until you, well, strike that. Until I think there was some testimony about the duress. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you review jail calls regarding that May 24th date?
Yes.
And in that jail call, who was it between?
I believe Mr. Ford and his son.
And was there any conversation about the alarm?
I believe he was advised to set the alarm.
Sure. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you mentioned that he had a conversation with his son on that May 24th, correct?
That's correct.
Were you aware that he had a son?
Yes.
Or did you become aware?
Became aware, yes.
All right. And how old, if you know, is he?
I'd have to look at my paperwork, but I believe in about 30.
All right. He's an adult.
He's an adult, yes.
Okay. And was there some initial concern that he might be a suspect in this?
Yes.
And why would that be?
The proximity of his location residence, and he actually was occupying the vehicle. At least he owned the vehicle given to him by his dad.
All right. And what kind of vehicle did he own?
A pickup truck.
All right. And there was some testimony that there was some speculation that, I think through Tanisha Stewart's cross-examination, that she thought it might be a pickup truck because of the height of the lights and the length, correct?
Yes, in the video, yes.
All right. And so he was a suspect for those type reasons?
Yes.
How far does he live from 1370 Hillcrest?
Actually, across East Avenue, there's East Avenue, At Fultz, he lives maybe a half block.
Walking distance?
Walking distance, yes.
Okay. And is it fair to say that he may, we don't know, right, but he may have access to their homes?
That's fair.
Could you describe his build?
He's about 6 foot, 130 pounds at that time.
All right, Detective, earlier today we started playing a interview of the first statement you made, the first contact you made with Stanley Ford. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And we had stopped that at about 5 minutes into that statement. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Your Honor, I think at this point in time,
It was 161, we'll label this 161A.
thank you, Judge.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, parts of it have been redacted due to previous rulings I've made. The state stopped it earlier because we were unsure whether those had actually been redacted. Over the lunch break, they made sure it was. And so we're going back regarding states 161.
And we didn't have a lot of problems with it, period. Well, I'm always calling the police. Yeah, I got people parked.
So I'm going to move forward to 5 minutes, hopefully, here.
Yeah, I did at 5-02. 5 minutes and 2 seconds is where I am.
So we'll compromise with 5:01, just because I couldn't get it closer. See if that works. I know, but it's a delay. No, maybe it's not a delay.
And we didn't have a lot of problems with it, period. Well, I'm always calling the police. Yeah, remember? Okay. Then I tried to be up at night watching. I caught this black car sitting in front of my neighbor's house over here about like 4 in the morning. Black car just riding around. Okay. With no lights on. I called the police then. And see when you looked out? When? I didn't see nobody moving. Okay. That night, but they be walking. I don't know. They like vampires, man. They come up and they just walk.
Either one of you go outside and look? Either one of you go outside and look?
No.
It's on fire? Okay. Nobody else was here?
No, just my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, Beverly, I believe that's the name.
There's a girl that.
Yeah, I believe her name is Beverly.
We talked to 150 people in the last 2 days in front of each other.
Yeah. Okay, well, we appreciate it. Whenever we get a chance, we'll be back in touch.
Oh,
Try
that's
to coordinate. What are your work schedules so we can try to coordinate something?
Where do you work at?
Well, I'm retired.
You retired?
Yeah.
You're going up to be retired.
Yeah, I do. I had early retirement. I'm on Tristan.
How old are you?
Oh, man, I'm kicking 60, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Bad knees, bad legs. It just look like I'm in good shape. I try to keep some circulation going.
Hard for you to walk or something that way? Where you can't walk right or?
Oh, I just said, you know, when you get age, you just feel, it's just natural pain, man.
You know about that? You had a couple of back surgeries? Yeah. It's tore a rotator cuff.
That extent, you know, not to that extent.
Oh, okay.
That's
No surgery.
yeah, but still, you know, in the bones, man, cold weather.
Right. Weather changes a lot.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well.
I just look healthy, man. I'm feeling probably what you guys feel, man.
Okay. Have you guys heard anything or anybody talking? There's been a lot of news around and.
Actually, I be trying to keep an eye on the neighborhood, actually, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I be trying to watch the neighborhood.
Did you know anybody in the house there?
No, I actually know them. They'll come up and nod, and I do this and I nod back, and I was like, yeah, I didn't know none of them guys.
Stanley, earlier in the day, on that day, which would be Sunday, Mother's Day, we had one of our witnesses said that Dennis, the guy that lived there, was out there in the street arguing with somebody.
Who was?
Dennis, the guy, the dog male that lives over there.
I don't know Dennis. But Dennis,
I just wondered, did you hear anybody
The
arguing
guy,
or see anything?
he's out there arguing and fighting somebody in the street.
well, I didn't hear that, but They always have traffic down there, I do that. I don't know.
Describe to me about traffic,
Cars coming all the time.
people coming and going.
Yeah. You know, that's,
You know what his oldest one looks like? Caius, he's a real skinny kid, well spoken.
oh, yeah, he wanted to walk back sometimes he'll not. I haven't saw him lately. He had this little young girl. They had some kids. I just see him being a dad all the time, and all of a sudden, it poofed.
But did she live there too?
I used to see him going down in the store, and he used to carry the babies. I mean, I said, you know, that's all right. You know, at that young age, you know what I mean?
him that Sunday?
No, I don't know. No.
If I showed you a picture of him, would you be able to recognize him?
I probably will, yeah. I probably would be able to right. Because he used to walk up here all the time and walk his, I don't know if that was his girlfriend or married. He used to always walk up to the bus stop.
Oh, okay.
And she'd go to work. And he had the babies and
Is
she
he ever fighting over there with the dad?
see, I don't know, they sit down in there, you know what I mean? So we kind of stay up here.
Okay.
And, you know, they down and that road is bad. You know, I never like riding down there because it's got big chuckles and, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We walked that hill like
You
20 times.
know, so then you got the branches hitting your vehicle and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I try to avoid that area, but I just see them all the time, and I thought they was gonna get married and do the right thing, you know. But they used to have a lot of people, listen, they had a lot of people in that house,
Okay.
coming and going. And that's scary, you know, when you're up here in the neighborhood, you got these different faces coming, you don't know, and then they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like 2 skinny tall males in there just a couple weeks ago. They just poof.
Okay.
They just disappeared, poof. Never saw him before.
Okay.
You know what he did for a living, did you?
Man, listen, listen, man, I'm a community man, I ain't no snitch or nothing like that. They was just, I believe they was doing some things. You know what I'm saying? They was doing some things, you know what I mean? And, it's just,
I asked him, was he bargaining with somebody, because we had,
they was,
they told us that somebody was over there calling him senior.
Well, when you say some things, I guess we can speak freely, so.
probably some marriage gang here and there.
Okay.
Him and this guy, they was all connected next door here, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I don't mess with none of that, man. I don't, you know. I mean, I had my heydays, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I was a
Right.
slave, you know what I'm saying? I had my heydays, but when you get old and mature, you know what I'm saying? You kind of like graduate out of that and kind of do the right thing, and that's where I'm at today, man.
People don't.
You know, well, I did. You know, I mean, I'm sober today.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you can take blood, you can take my hair, you can take my pee, you won't find nothing. I'm just saying, you know.
You're not a suspect,
Right.
you're a witness.
Right. Well,
So what we need to talk about, we can't talk about here because I can't show you video and I can't show you photos here.
Well, we really like, especially since you're like one of our callers,
and
we'd like to talk to you, I'll tell you both of them.
yeah.
It would really be helpful, because you know, that's terrible what happened.
Paul moved back over here. Y'all know Paul, right? Y'all gotta know Paul, right?
Paul.
You know Paul. Come on, y'all know Paul. Y'all been talking to Paul. Hey, Paul is a hippie looking.
Okay. Paul, next door.
Yeah, you know, I saw him once in a while here. I said, he was up here before. He said, yeah. You know, I said, why you put all that stuff in your driveway? You know what I mean? He said, man, they blocks my driveway. I can't get my people in the driveway. And he was telling me, I don't know if he told you guys, he was telling me that one of the boys tried to poison his dogs. He has some vicious dogs.
No.
Yeah. He said, well,
Paul's the guy with the.
yeah, I said, why would they want to poison? He said, man, they just like AHs, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say it like this, they were just they were some bad people a little bit.
In the house?
Oh, the people, yeah, they were just some bad people. You know, from what I observed with some of the stuff they was doing in the
All the
neighborhood.
same, they're in the design.
No, that don't support that. I agree with that.
Right.
No, what they was doing, yeah, that
They
don't
gotta be right by the baby.
Right.
I ask you to step up and help me
Right.
and help solve that crime.
Right.
You're not doing that for me right now.
I ain't doing nothing out the ordinary.
No, we just want to,
Why don't you come down to the station tomorrow?
come in the morning. Come in the morning.
Well, let me consult with my wife.
Okay, that's fine.
Stuff like that, you know, because you know, I got 2 girls, they love me, man. And I
We
love
said
them.
it's not gonna be less than an hour or so, we can, maybe even a half hour, so.
If you wanna help solve this crime, find out who burnt the house up, be right by that family, let's go live together.
We didn't talk to that, we just went out, talked, we met with both sides of the family.
No kids.
We met with both sides of the family.
I
We've been
love
working.
working, man. When I used to work for the Beacon Journal doing papers, man, on the north side, and I what's that, Riverside. Found a little boy, about 18 months or something like that.
Okay.
And it was May, and it was kind of cold that year.
Yeah.
We just had a diaper on, man. I said, oh man, this is crazy. You know, I go down Riverside and I come back up. I see this little baby, man.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I stopped this guy. He was out strapped right behind him. And I called 911, man. You know, they, yeah, you know, so.
So you want
See, you know, I try to, the one thing about that, the kids are protected under the law. So I called Children's Service. They can't give you information. You know, I try to track and see how he was doing.
right.
And,
So do you want to consult with your wife? We step out and you can we can wait a few minutes and let her get dressed and tell us what you want to do. We'll step out real quick. Fair enough.
that
We really need your help.
Oh,
We
man,
need your help.
we try to help you
You
guys.
want to consult with her? We'll step out real quick.
What's your name again?
Detective Looney.
Oh, Louis. Yeah.
That's from Troy.
Troy, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think I see you around.
Yeah, I'm sure you see him. We've been working around the clock. You want to talk? I'll step out real quick, respectfully, okay? I'll knock in a few minutes. All right. All right. All right.
Detective Looney, does that State's Exhibit 161 that we just completed and played portion earlier, does the portions that we played accurately reflect the encounter you had with Mr. Ford on May 17th, 2017?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's 3:35. We're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll remind you of the admonition I've given you at all breaks. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else, including family, friends, or the media. You must not post or read anything about this case on the internet or any electronic device, including your cell phone. Any such discussion, if discovered, could lead to a mistrial and severely compromise the party's right to a fair trial. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence, and do not form or express an opinion on this case until it's finally been submitted to you. Leave your notepads upside down on your seats. I'm going to say be back at 3:45, and then we'll begin at that point in time, and we'll resume Detective Looney's testimony. We're adjourned.
All right, please.
Yeah, just a 10-minute one.
You've seen it all. No, there are no secrets. 2 hours. Well, the last tape is 15 minutes. Oh, that. Let me say the chamber floor. Okay, right on the, even on the page, there's so many people. And then even yes.
Common Pleas is again in session. The Honorable Christine Croce presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. You may proceed or resume, Mr.
Thank you, Judge. Detective Looney, we talked a little bit about the alarm records, and we've talked about a little bit about both fires at this point, at 719 Fultz and 693 Fultz. You also heard testimony in this case about a fire on Russell that happened on January 23rd, 2017. Do you recall that?
Yes.
When you became the lead investigator in the 693 Fultz case, were you investigating or did you have any knowledge about the Russell fire, car fire?
No, I did not.
At some point in time, did that come to your attention?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
After the arrest of Mr. Ford, I received a call into DB with a person had information they wanted to discuss.
And who is that person?
That would be Nigel Ware and Nigel Sams.
Okay. And obviously we heard her testimony in regards to that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
When she came and talked to you, did you then at some point go back and look at alarm records for that date and time?
Yes.
And when you looked at those alarm records, was there anything of note to you as an investigator?
Yes, there was.
And did you heard the testimony of Lieutenant Berbliski, I think that's how you say it?
Yes.
And that he had investigated the car fire?
Yes.
And he testified about the time that the call came. Do you recall that?
Yes.
I'm going to show you, again, State Exhibit number 40.
What page?
Um,
How do you know where they're at?
40.
Thank you.
Could you indicate to us what was of significance to you in the alarm records?
There are several notifications, panel disarmed, 12317, 120. There's a panel armed stay, 2 a.m. on 12317, and additional disarmed notification. There's 3 at 2 a.m., another on the 23rd at 2 a.m., another on the 23rd at 2:01 a.m. panel armed stay.
And do you recall what time that 911 call came in regarding that car fire?
I believe 2 a.m. was mentioned.
2 a.m.?
I believe it was 2 a.m. roughly. I'd have to see the report.
If I indicated that the testimony of the lieutenant was at 2:05, would you have any reason to disagree with that?
No, I would not.
Okay. So showing you now here, States 40, page 40. You talked about at 1:23 that at 1:23 on 2017 at 1. Yeah, I see that. At 1:20 a.m. the panel was disarmed, and of course it says by Stanley Ford. Correct?
That's correct.
And these are the series of alarm keys or being keyed into the alarm that you are indicating.
That's correct.
And again, then we have the next one is on the same date at 2 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And what happened there?
It says panel armed stay, and there's actually 3 at 2 a.m.
All right. And then what's the next one at 2 a.m.?
It says panel disarmed by Stanley Ford.
And then what's the next one at 2 o'clock?
Panel armed stay.
And then the next one?
2:01 a.m. panel disarmed by Stanley Ford.
And then the last one on 123 at that time? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, panel armed stay, 2:02 a.m.
Now, when you noticed that, was there some, I guess, hope that maybe there was video?
Yes.
All right. And was there video?
I didn't locate any video at that time.
All right, so we know that 719's video camera was no longer in existence, correct? At that
That's
time?
correct.
So the only video you were aware of would have been where?
714 volts.
And that would be Mr. Williams' video?
That's correct.
And at the time it was collected in May, was there any evidence on there from back to January? Any video?
No, there was not.
Okay. In regards to your investigation, once Mr. Ford was arrested on May 23rd, 2017, did the investigation stop or did it continue?
It continued.
And during that investigation, you obviously put a lot of importance on the things you talked about with Mr. Ford about coming in that side door. Is that correct?
Yes.
At some point in time, were you made aware or did you become aware of Mr. Ford discussing 730?
Yes.
730 Fultz address?
Yes.
And that would be through what means?
The jail calls.
And what was Mr. Ford, I guess, representing on those calls about 730?
There was concern that the side door was from 730 volts. The side door that I was interviewing him about was from 730 volts and not his location.
All right. So there was that. So to be clear, that you were mistaken that it was his door that was seeing somebody go inside of, and it was actually 730.
His belief was that we were mistaken.
Okay. And so what efforts did you take? Well, strike that. Have you been out to 730 since you learned of this information?
Yes.
First of all, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 164, excuse me, 154 and 155. Do you recognize those?
Yes, I do.
And what do they represent?
154 exhibit represents a overall shot of the side view of 1370 Hillcrest and the house 730 Fultz, that view. And exhibit 155 represents a front view of 730 Fultz, a portion of it.
All right. And what color is the house at 730 Fultz in those photographs?
It's pink.
And back in May of 2017, when that 693 Fultz fire took place, was that the color of the house then?
Yes.
And were these, do these photographs accurately represent the house at the time of that fire at 693 Fultz?
That's correct, yes.
All right, so I'm being corrected by everybody. At the time of the 693 Fultz fire.
Yes, and that's what I understood you to mean.
Okay, thank you. So showing you 154. Which house is this?
That is 1370 Hillcrest, the side door, side view.
And is that, whose house is that?
That is Mr. Ford's house.
All right. And then what is this house here?
That is 730 Fultz Street.
And then State's 155, what is that?
That is the front view of 730 Fultz, a portion of it.
And that door on the front of 730 Fultz, which way does it open?
It opens inward.
All right. Is there a screen door on it?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Since that time, has that house been renovated?
Yes, it has.
All right, I'm going to show you some additional photographs. Showing you states 156, 157, 158, and 159. Oh, I'm sorry.
I may have messed up your order, I apologize.
Take a look at those and tell me if you recognize those.
Yes, I do.
And just generally, we'll show them to the jury here in a moment, but when would those be more recent photographs?
Yes, they are.
All right, and in those photographs, generally, what are they depicting?
156 exhibit is a view taken from the yard of 714 Fultz, showing in the distance 1370 Hillcrest Street.
Okay, and the next one?
This is exhibit 157, showing standing in the yard of 714 Fultz, showing the view of 1370 at a closer depiction across the street.
Okay.
Exhibit 158 shows the another close-up or zoomed-in view of 1370 Hillcrest and the side view of the home there at 1370 as well.
Okay. And the last one?
Exhibit 159 is a view of the most current depiction of 730 Fultz from an angle.
All right, and you said the most current depiction. Is there a screen door on that one?
There's no screen door at this time.
All right. Were you there at the time of the jury view?
Yes.
And is there a screen door on there now?
There is a screen door currently, yes.
But that was not there even at this time and more recent?
That's correct.
I'm now going to show you State's Exhibit number 12, which has been previously identified and used.
Okay.
Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
All right, just because we're talking about 730, I know we've talked about it before, could you point out 730 on here?
Yes, 730 is the house right here.
So when Mr. Ford started talking about your being mistaken and that the people were going to that house, did this photograph assist you in determining if that was true or not?
Yes.
And how is that?
The view taken in the photograph depicts standing in the yard of 714, the view across the street showing 1370 Hillcrest, and the location of 730 Fultz west of that, and it sits back further.
Sits back further than?
Further than 1370.
All right. And so it's showing you.
There's one more
Oh,
up here.
yep. That's the one I was going to show. Showing you 159, states 159. I think you testified that that was 730 Fultz.
Yes.
And that's in its remodeled condition since May of 2017?
That's correct.
And State's Exhibit 156, that was taken in Mr. Williams' front yard, correct?
That's correct. 714 Fultz.
Now, in relation to where this picture's taken, where would the camera 4 that we see that side door open, where would that camera be located in relation to where this picture is taken?
In relation to this photo, camera 4, this picture was taken in the yard. Camera 4 is actually on the porch railing of 714 in that like east side corner.
All right. And showing you State's Exhibit number 157. What is that?
This is an additional photo taken from the yard of 714 Fultz, showing 1370 Hillcrest across the street and the side view of 1370.
All right. Now, so this is more of a zoomed photo, is that correct?
It appears to be, yes.
And then finally 158.
This is a picture, another zoomed-in photograph of 1370 Hillcrest, and also showing the side of 1370.
Okay. And going back to 159, at the front door of 730 Fultz, that front door does it have an overhang to it?
Yes.
And now again, going back to 158, there's an overhang in that photograph, correct?
Yes.
And do you recognize this overhang?
Yes.
Which overhang is that?
This is connected, I believe, to 1370 Hillcrest.
All right. And when you say you believe, if I show you State's Exhibit number 154, does that help you at all?
Yes.
And so what is that?
That is the overhang above the door on 1370 Hillcrest.
All right. So in State's 158, is that what we're seeing?
158, yes. That's
Okay.
correct.
And in this photograph taken from, I think you said 714 Fultz, now it's zoomed in, but do you see at all the overhang from 730 in this picture?
No.
In regards to your investigation, initially, you had video, correct?
Yes.
And you were investigating Mr. Ford.
Yes.
At some point in time, were there videos put together which were referred to as the side-by-sides?
Yes.
And why was that done?
That was done for comparison.
So I'm going to show you.
You may.
you're about to see some side-by-side video. Some of it, there'll be testimony regarding a known individual. Others, there is no identity as to that person. There'll be no opinion that those two individuals are the same. That is a decision for you to look at that evidence and give it whatever weight and credibility you decide to give that evidence. Understand? All right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. All right, so Detective, I think the question was that did you have some side-by-sides created for comparison purposes?
Yes.
And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 137. And this was previously identified by Mr. Barkhurst. Oh, thank you. All right, so this was what we saw yesterday with Brad Barkhurst, correct? This title page?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Detective Looney, this date and time of this is when?
4/12/2016.
So that would have been how many days prior to the 719 Fultz fire?
I can't recall this time.
So if it was on 4/18,
Yes.
so it'd be how many days?
6 days.
Okay. And Mr. Ford had told you in that interview we previously heard, did he give you information about what he did each morning?
Yes.
What was that information?
When wife leaves for work, he escorts her out or walks.
And what time is that happens?
Roughly 6:30.
Is that what he told you?
Yes.
And what type of vehicle does his wife drive?
A Jeep Liberty.
And what type of vehicle do we just see drive by?
Appeared to be a Jeep Liberty.
And in regards to the video that we're seeing on the right, what are we seeing there?
This is a video of an individual walking in the area of Folsom Hillcrest.
All right. Now, in regards to the one on the right, we know who that individual is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's Mr. Ford.
All right. And what day would this video have been taken?
I don't have that date.
Was it the date of the search warrant?
I believe it was the date of the search warrant, yes. 2017. Oh, there. Thank you. My eyes weren't catching it. And now we're looking at State's Exhibit 134, previously identified by Brad Barkhurst, correct? That's correct.
And again, on the left side, we're seeing that same clip on April 12th at 6:30 a.m.
That's correct.
And on the right side, we saw what?
There was a portion of video from the surveillance.
And is that surveillance video from the 2017 fire?
That's correct.
And again, we have the comparison on the left, but the right one is now is from what?
That is from the 2017 fire.
Surveillance?
Surveillance video, yes.
Okay. And these are different clips from that surveillance video, is that fair?
That's fair, yes.
And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 139 that was identified yesterday by Mr. Barkhurst. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. So on the left, we're seeing what?
Surveillance video from 2017.
And on the right?
The search warrant video from 2017. Go ahead, what?
How
Wait.
long is that one? That's about 30 minutes, isn't it?
No, it's a little less than that, but then I have more.
Okay. So maybe it's a good time to end for the day. And then we'll resume in the morning.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to adjourn for the day. I'll remind you of the admonition I've given you at all breaks and at the end of each day. It is important that you be fair and attentive throughout the trial. Do not discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else, including your family, friends, or the media. You must not post or read anything about this case on the internet or in any broadcast or any electronic device, including your cell phone. Any such discussions discovered could lead to a mistrial and would severely compromise the party's right to a fair trial. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence, and do not form or express an opinion until it's finally been submitted to you. I want to give you a little bit of information going forward. So tomorrow's probably going to be an earlier day, and then we're going to have Thursday off, as I've reminded you. Friday is up in the air right now, just depending on how things go tomorrow. We will plan on closing arguments and jury instructions on Monday, which will be the 20th. Monday is the day that, on Friday, I'll give you some additional instructions. But Monday is the day that you will be sequestered. From the time you walk into the courthouse, you will be kept separate and apart from everyone else. I'm going to tell you, you can't bring any electronic devices with you, including your cell phone, so you better start thinking about magazines that don't have any local accounts, no newspapers, those kind of things, no kind of crime books. And I'm going to give you very specific instructions in writing, but I want to give you that information so you can start to think about it. And then there'll be further instructions about what you'll do Monday morning when you come with your suitcase or your overnight bag, and what you'll bring at that point in time. But I wanted to kind of give you this information so that you'll be aware of it. The alternates will be sequestered, separate and apart from the deliberating jury. You'll be held in another room. You'll have, you will not also be able to have any type of electronic devices, so you need to bring something that's going to keep you busy. And then if there's a need to sequester overnight, you'll be sequestered in your own room at a local hotel. We do not disclose where that is, of course, as you can imagine. And then there'll be specific instructions you'll have. You'll be brought back the next day, and you'll continue your deliberations. If we deliberate here through the 7 or 8 o'clock hour, of course, we will provide you your meals, so you don't have to worry about that. But we'll go into a little more detail about that, but I wanted you to start thinking about it for Monday. Juror number 7.
If I have a serious food allergy?
Yes, we can make any accommodations. So there's going to be some forms I'm going to have you fill out, most likely tomorrow, since we're going to end a little early. It's about allergies, it's about doctors, it's about contacts, it's about all those things. And then I'm going to have an instruction to you going forward about what the admonitions are about being sequestered. Okay?
Sorry to be difficult. One more question. If I have a mother in the hospital, can I give?
Yes, and there's no, I think we got them all covered, I
Okay,
promise you.
awesome. Thank
You'll have emergency contacts for both day and night, and then they will go through that contact to get any type of information to you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. LaPrince.
On the sidebar.
If you want to use pictures from are they down here on something? Yeah. And are they marked? Yes. Now, I mean, these aren't all photos. Right. These are just.
So with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Remember my admonitions. Thank you.
All right, please.